Welcome, everyone, to the Incredicast podcast. I'm Adam Hurst, here with David Kerrigan, and this week there wasn't a race, but we're here to recap the first half of the season before Fox says goodbye and we go to NBC. But what happened after Martinsville with Texas Motor Speedway? Who won that race, and what would that say for the rest of the season?
Well, at first, everyone thought we would be having a Haas racing show because we had Kevin Harvick, who was doing fantastic. We had Clint Bowyer at Martinsville, who he was planning on tearing that track down to the ground. But Toyota came back with a firm response, even though Kevin Harvick was the faster car at Texas. He did have some pit road issues, as is, happens with Kevin Harvick. But we would see Kyle Busch 3 races in a row winning. A firm hand with a response to Kevin Harvick's 3 races. Just a crazy feat by that 18 team.
Yeah, he would basically show everybody that he is in this championship hunt too. He's trying to not let Harvick get too far ahead of him. And he's right there this year. You can tell by the playoff points. Harvick has 26. Kyle has 25. They're literally right there with each other. So
yeah.
So
my goodness.
The main thing of the season, the big 3, Truex has equal amount of wins as Clint Bowyer does. So maybe there's the big 4 now. Who knows? But Joey Logano would end up winning Talladega and basically make sure his last win was an encumbered win. So
that would be a pretty interesting win for Ford because you have those Roush Yates engines just on fire. No pun intended, of course. But just the Fords are extremely strong at the restrictor plate tracks, and he would for sure take it home at Talladega, as we saw. First would be Logano, P2 would be Kurt Busch, and then the rest of the top 10, except for P3, 8, 9, and 10, just the rest, Fords all over the place, whether it be Haas, Roush, or, but yeah, they would be all over the place. So, really huge win for Ford at Talladega.
Then after his short break, Kevin Harvick again wins Dover. He's back.
Shocking. What?
the drought is over. His 4-race drought is over of winless streaks. And he would basically come back. He would win Dover, win Kansas, and then of course
and in the Busch car.
Finally, the curse for the Busch car is over, and so 3 in a row is basically the theme of this year for some reason.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. And speaking of 3 in a row, we would see Harvick's his last repeat that he got. He would be driving the Batmobile. Call up Adam West. Make sure you dig him out of his grave because the Batmobile's primed and ready. Why NASCAR did this, I don't know. Why they want to do it again, I don't know. However, we would see restrictor plate racing at Charlotte, half the horsepower, full throttle around the entire track. And here's the thing that just behooves me. NASCAR planned to do this because of, we didn't have enough competition. We need more other cars winning except Kevin Harvick. Excuse me, Adam, in case I've forgotten and the other people watching have forgotten, who dominated the race?
That would be the same people who dominated through the entire year. We saw Kyle leading a little bit, but then Kevin Harvick, dominates and wins the race.
Would win stage 1 and the race in stage 3, and
no matter what they do, the same people still going to dominate unless you just fire them or something. It's not going to happen.
If you shoot them out of a cannon, then perhaps. But if you like the racing aspect of NASCAR, My personal opinion is it was stupid. Half the horsepower, it's really like, let's just make everyone dumb. If you don't really care about the cars and the racing aspect, I guess you might like it because cars were closer up. I don't know if you're like a F1 fan or something and you don't know what passing is. But either way, Kevin Harvick would take home his third win in a row for the second time of the season so far. And then Kyle Busch would answer as he did previously. And what would happen in the Coca-Cola 600?
Well, basically, it was the Kyle Busch show. I was there personally, and they played the song called the Kyle Busch Show, and that happened. We would see Ford struggle a little bit, but that would just be because of mechanical issues. We had Kevin Harvick who ran over some debris, and he wouldn't be a factor all day, which is big in the playoff picture because of the whole, if you're the leader at the end of, I think it's Indianapolis now, you get 15 playoff points.
Oh, wow.
For them, I don't think it matters. They're already at Homestead anyway, so you get there even faster, I guess.
Sure. Yeah. Yes.
Then we would see Ryan Blaney, as you said earlier, about the engines going up in flames. That happened.
Said, "Oh Lord Jesus is a fire." Man, he was. I mean, if I was in control of NASCAR, I would have allowed everyone who was sitting in turn one to come down onto the track and have like a weenie roast over his car, because that was a burning, like, man, oof.
Everyone gets free marshmallows before the race.
Yep.
If one catches on fire, you can come down and
go, hurry.
There was also that guy that was climbing the fence. He was like right in front of where I sat. But then after Truex has heard about Kevin Harvick and Kyle Busch all year. When last year he was dominating, he got so sick of it, he went on to win Pocono. The big three is there: Kyle Busch and Kevin Harvick for sure. But Martin Truex, he's not quite there this year, is he?
I wouldn't say so. When you compare it to last year on how planted over the entire planet, just it was Truex. He was the man to beat every single weekend. It didn't matter where we went. He was there. And then currently now in 2018, Harvick and that whole entire Stewart-Haas organization, as we're coming up to Clint Boyer, Hardy King of NASCAR, my goodness, and just Kyle Busch has improved, and the Gibbs organization, all these other cars who are out there just have, it would appear to me that they've taken a huge chunk out of Truex's domination over NASCAR, because he just doesn't look the way he did.
Yeah, then we saw Clint Boyer, as you said. He would go on to win Michigan in a rain-shortened race. We didn't really have a diverse season so far. It's just been Kyle Busch, Kevin Harvick. Oh, is it Kyle? Is it Harvick? I don't know. Here's Truex. And then randomly Clint Boyer shows up. So that's kind of been how the season's been so far. I don't think it's going to change. I don't think it will.
Probably not. It's, when you look at it as the whole picture, I believe it's the trend of you have Toyota and Haas Racing. Harvick is by far the lead horse of the Stewart-Haas Racing / Ford group, but Clint Boyer's there. Kurt Busch has been up there. He's got some poles. Kurt is up there for sure. Eric Almirola, compared to his previous races in his career, last year had that horrible crash at Kansas, broke his back. Really scary event for him. He's been on it. So, I mean, everyone at that team so far this year has been fantastic. And you look at the Fords as a whole, you got Penske, who could be doing better. You got Logano at Talladega. Yes, you got the win. However, it's Talladega, anyone can win. But I think what's really important is how the 12 car of Ryan Blaney has been there in these races with these stage wins, with these poles. He's been up there. Brad Keselowski, he's had some fast races. But the number one thing that is important to know about this Ford versus Toyota, Stewart-Haas against Gibbs, and then also Truex as well. Where are the Chevrolets, Adam? Where is Hendrick?
Yeah, it is pretty interesting that the last time a Chevy's won was the Daytona 500 this year, and that was like how many races ago? So
that doesn't really count, though.
It doesn't count, though, because
and like
it doesn't matter.
80% of the field wrecks out, and you gotta, But yeah, when you look at the last actual Chevrolet win.
Oh my gosh, I can't even remember that.
Exactly.
Kyle Larson, Richmond of last year in the fall.
Just crazy.
Didn't win at all in the playoffs. It was all Toyota, basically, besides the 2 Ford wins. And I don't know. It's just Chevy lost something last year. And then they dropped it even further this year. So Kyle Larson, I would say, is the best candidate to win. He was there at Kansas, led some laps. I think if a Chevy does win soon, it will be Larson. I really don't think Hendrick is going to get there anytime soon. They might with fuel mileage or something, but that's about it, I think.
I do have to say, though, and you can comment on this if you'd like, we discussed last time we had the question of which of the rookies is currently ahead in the Rookie of the Year, and when we had this question last time, those 2 drivers of William Byron and also Bubba Wallace were not doing well at all. However, I do have to say I have been impressed by William Byron. Even though that Hendrick team has not been doing well, their cars are not even close comparing to the 4 of Kevin Harvick and the 18 Kyle Busch and thus Truex, not even close as well. I do have to say, though, he went to some pretty tricky tracks, like the Tricky Triangle. At Pocono, he ran really well as a rookie in cars that are not the best against some really tough guys. He ran around Brad. He ran around some good guys. He's been there. And so currently, if one would ask me, I would say the current leader in the Rookie of the Year standing would be William Byron.
It is impressive that he was able to put on a solid race that day.
And we've seen him lately at these other tracks. He's been there as well. So
yeah, so we'll see.
Give it to him.
We'll see how much he improves over the next few races. Maybe even before the playoffs start, he'll be up there, top 10s, top 5s. Who knows?
Perhaps.
But yeah, so playoff picture is looking pretty interesting right now. The big 3, that's it. But on the cut line, we have Alex Bowman in 15th, Stenhouse in 16th, Paul Menard 17th, and the Daytona 500 winner, currently 18th. Since he's won, he's locked in, though. McMurray, though, in 19th, he's outside. So last year he was pretty good into the playoffs. This year he's not really there.
It's a huge testament of the Chevrolets just not being able to get there. We saw last year Clint Boyer could not find a way to win, and he would be on the outside looking in of these Haas Fords. So, I mean, we've seen the Fords improve a lot. And the Chevrolets, again, they had a lot of talk with this Camaro. This Camaro was going to be the wonder pill. It was going to solve all the issues with Chevrolet. And to me, as you said earlier in this podcast, it looks like they've gotten a little bit worse. So,
yeah,
who knows with these Chevrolets?
And then William Byron, as you said, he's currently 20th, currently out of the playoffs. So he would need to, pretty much at this point, he would need to win to get in. So we'll see if that happens. But last year at this time, we had around 10 different winners. This year we only have 6, so there's more room for pointing your way in without actually winning. So that's one interesting thing about this Kevin Harvick, Kyle Busch domination, because it doesn't give anyone room to lock themselves in. And we actually have a point race to get to the playoffs.
We're going back to 2003.
Yeah. Except it's not for first; it's for 16th.
Wow.
So, a little less interesting there, but next.
Are we watching the Truck Series?
Yeah, it's the Truck Series. Well, it's more like the Xfinity Series, since no one gets locked in because all these Cup guys come in and just take their candy. There's
oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Currently, only 3 people in the Xfinity playoffs are locked in. So, we're moving on to Sonoma. Do you think anyone will get locked in at Sonoma?
Heck no. Sonoma is a driver track, and we've seen the best drivers in the sport are already locked in. That's why for Sonoma, he won it last year. His team was not as hot. He's improved a lot. He's won a lot more races. His team is looking on fire. I'm going to pick the 4-car Kevin Harvick. I know, a shocker, right? To win at Sonoma. He is one of the best drivers, okay? Currently out there in NASCAR, it's a road course. Me personally, I love the road course racing. I love the circuit racing. So I'm going with Kevin Harvick. He knows how to shift really well. Has a good car this year. Went with the 4.
As for me, I'm going with the guy who almost won it last year, but had some mechanical issues. That was Martin Truex Jr., so I think it's going to be a good battle between Harvick and Truex. I think Truex will get his 3rd win of the season, possibly trying to join Kyle Busch and Kevin Harvick with some domination, so we'll see about that, though. So if neither one of them win, who has the best chance of actually getting into the playoffs here at Sonoma?
Of a driver who hasn't won yet, you mean?
Yeah, of a driver who's not currently in.
Ooh. That's a good question. I'd have to say AJ Allmendinger, because he comes from an open wheel background. Saw in 2014 one of the best races ever at Watkins Glen, with him trying to hold off Ambrose and the world behind him there to get his first career win. He's been there. I wouldn't say top 10 there, he's had some good runs, but I said it previously, road course racing kind of is about the driver. Hugest example about this would have to be Robbie Gordon in the past years. Had his own team, horrible equipment, driving the 7-car, and at road courses, top 5s all day long. So, yeah.
Yeah, for AJ, he's 78 points out of the cut line right now, so Sonoma is a good place for him to get locked in. If not Sonoma, Watkins Glen. He's a phenomenal road course racer. Then if he does get locked in, we have another road course, technically half of a road course, the Roval. He might be good there too. So
don't even start with that.
So, well, he probably loves that it's in there because he's pretty good there. Maybe. We'll find out. From the practice sessions that he ran there with everyone else, he was the fastest there. So if he does get locked in, there's a good chance for him to get into the next round. So look out for the 78, look out for the 4. Keep an eye on the 47 as well. But for us, a weird thing happened over this week. What would that be?
It would be Silicon Valley tried to touch us in weird places. As you see, YouTube has been having issues since, I don't know, 2005, when they were made and created. And just tons of issues. Like, yes, with us, of course. However, if you watch anyone else on YouTube, I'm sure you can relate just with the analytics, with the sub boxes, everything. If it's related to YouTube, it has issues. It's kind of like NASCAR. If you touch it, you might get some disease from biblical times, okay? You might get leprosy, who knows? But so for example, on our last video, which shout out to the Clint fans out there, my goodness, you guys smashed that video into oblivion. However, YouTube did smash it a little bit harder than you guys did, because if you look on there, it says we have more likes than more views. Now, if you have brain cells, I think you can see that that's physically impossible. But you know.
Yeah, this video,
we have been having this issue.
Yeah, this video ended up
go ahead.
getting around like 130 views, and then YouTube's like, "No, you don't deserve those views," and goes back to 130, or actually, goes back down to 61 views. So I don't know.
And we have like 78 likes on it.
Yeah,
so
79 likes on it. So
79. So. If that makes sense to you, then you need to get a job at Google. We've been having this issue all year long so far with where we have these killer videos that come out. They do pretty well, and then YouTube just halves the views-ish, something like that. So,
yeah.
I mean...
Yeah, I contacted someone about this, and they said they just take away the fake views, which 79 people clearly looked at it. So,
I don't get what that means, fake.
So I mean, does that mean that those people that watched wasn't real
You're
people?
not real.
We had 18 fake people like our... How does that
happen? Correlation with that? But so either way, we will still be here doing these podcasts, even though we get touched in places every week, but it doesn't matter.
All of you negative 18 people, we still love you.
Even though you're fake. Maybe, wait a minute, I think I got it. I think the fake people are the ones who did not check the box that says, I'm not a robot. Wally is watching our videos. My goodness. He does like plants, though. But either way,
so all of those robots are Clint fans, apparently.
Yeah, there you go. Either way, the overall thumbnail vote of the past few races has come in. It is final, and which race won that vote, Adam?
That would be the All-Star race.
The Batmobile.
The Batmobile currently is leading the whole best thumbnail of the year. So, one good thing, or actually one interesting thing about this is Kevin Harvick right now has won every thumbnail vote that we've had. So the Harvick fans that watch our podcast, they're killing it right now.
How to really give it to Stuart Haas, man.
Yeah.
My goodness.
Second place was actually Clinton Boyer at Michigan. So
yeah.
So we have a lot of Stuart Haas fans watching our podcast. So shout out to you guys.
I bet they are happy this year, though. So.
Which, I mean, it does help
goodness.
that there's more Harvick and Boyer stuff this year than there was last year, though.
Yeah,
so
that is true. So, going on from there, going to Sonoma, as we said before, the 4 and the 78. 78 and the 4, perhaps the 47, perhaps 1 through 100, whatever number is your favorite number. He or she, hey, who knows, can get a win at Sonoma. It's a driver track. Dreams can come true. Hope you guys have a great week. To all the fathers out there, hope you guys had a great Father's Day. You are appreciated. Guys, have a great week. See you in Sonoma, California.